Hey, what's up, everyone? I hope y'all been doing well. Okay, let's get through a few things today that I want to discuss with everyone. We're going to start with perspective. So, in light of the recent NSA spying scandal, this gentleman, Eric Snowden, has come forth as a whistleblower, and many are proclaiming him a hero now, like Bradley Manning. Now, while I think that what Mr. Snowden did was admirable and was virtuous, I can't help but think that at the same time, this was all by design. Now, on a grand scale of consciousness, we know that everything is by design. But on smaller scales of consciousness, it's more difficult to see that. There's some articles being published now about this gentleman and about how he has many affiliations with a lot of elite players, I would say, in the world. And of course, that's going to be uh, predicted because he was a whistleblower. He had access to this intel. He was obviously in with that crowd. So basically, what I want to tell everyone is keep an open mind to all perspectives. Before you go getting on the Eric Snowden is a hero bandwagon, do a little more research into it. Look into the timing of this scandal. Look into the timing of the disclosure. Look into everything. And you'll see that there are some question marks there as to the whole timing of this. And another point I wanted to cover on this spying deal is that everybody knows about it now, but how many people actually care? Nobody really seems to care. So, in my studies of law, the only way you can sue the federal government is if there is a clear and blatant violation of civil rights. And honestly, I feel this qualifies as such a, you know, infraction. But to challenge them, you're going to have to get a group of people of wealth and influence to hire the lawyers needed to take this to court and actually prosecute the federal government. And that's the biggest step of all. Because A, anyone who is of wealth and influence is probably working with the federal government already. They've either been bought out or they're bound by fear. So they're not going to do anything about it. And then you have the people who do have the wealth and are not part of that group. But how are they going to find a lawyer crazy enough to want to prosecute the federal government? And we all know the federal government plays dirty tricks. They will intimidate, they will influence, they will muscle in on you. And that's how they get away with everything they get away with. So, if anyone out there is of great wealth and influence now and is not bound by that group, I'm begging you, please find some lawyers to take this case and prosecute the federal government. Because honestly, I feel that if this case goes to court, there's going to be a lot more revealed through this trial. You're going to see how extensive this spying scandal really is. Myself, I feel that nothing on the internet goes unseen. Nothing. Because I know from a metaphysical standpoint, any light you see, that light is also looking back at you on some kind of macro or microcosmic scale. So in essence, nothing is going unseen because it's light. That's what light does. It illuminates. It lifts veils. It lets everything be seen. Now another point I want to cover is a bit severe, but honestly, I feel it's pretty funny and it's going to happen. It's not going to be until people start to see pictures of themselves jacking off online that they're going to care about this spying scandal and how deep it goes. You're going to be at work and all of a sudden you're going to get emails and memes on your phone about the boss, about, pictures of the boss. He's jacking off online. And after that, then maybe people will do something about it. Because then their privacy has actually been invaded and it's affecting their life. As it is now, yes, a lot of our privacy is invaded, but it's not affecting our life directly. so we don't care. And that goes right back to the whole concept of chaos. Nobody can break free from this spell until chaos comes to them and touches their heart. Because it shocks them. It shocks you mentally, it shocks you emotionally, it shocks you physically. And it breaks the spell. Your back is up against the wall, and you finally start to act on your own accord. You're using your own mind, instead of having a path that's already been carved out for you by order. So just think about that for a minute, everybody. Honestly, I feel when the riots and the chaos come to North America and come to the United States, all these other places, Turkey, Libya, Egypt, are going to pale in comparison to the chaos that will come to the United States. Because I know the American people. And I know they're ready for a fight. And I know that America has, not America, the United States, excuse me, I'm trying to be more specific. The United States has some of the most feared and formidable militias and street gangs in the world. And honestly, I feel that's what's keeping China from invading us. They're not so much afraid of the military. They're worried about the militias and the street gangs that they don't have intel on, that they don't know what are capable of. And I think it would be the greatest thing ever if chaos came to the United States. Because people would finally put down their beer and their burger and do something. Finally. That's what it's going to take, everybody. Everyone else, not everyone else. Many other people in the lightworker community who are my friends and who I respect their opinions, they say love and light is the only way. We've been trying this. It has some effect, but it does not have the same effect that chaos will have. Because the effects of chaos are instant. It's like taking a needle and stabbing yourself. When someone sends you love and light, okay, you can feel that, you can acknowledge that. And you probably feel good about that. But it's not going to shake you. It's not going to stir you like, pain or chaos will. Trauma. And it's a terrible thing to say, everybody, but that's the plight of humanity. People don't fucking learn unless you beat it into them or they experience some kind of trauma that leads to an epiphany or an awakening for them. We're born into this world and we're given everything we're fed. And it's not until we realize the discord of this world through chaos that we acknowledge this place really is fucked up. We could be a lot better off. We could be off of fossil fuels. We could be using plasma energy. We could be using wireless energy for all our needs. All these wires are not needed. The only reason they remain is for greed and profit for the elite. That's the only reason. So, what I'm proposing is to take risks. Do things you normally would not do. Even if they seem illogical, dangerous, do it. Because you will emerge from it wiser and stronger. It will open your mind to different things in different ways. And it's desperately needed right now, everybody. Desperately needed. Not only in the United States, but in the world. The civilian population needs to rise up against the governments and the military. The war is not going to be military versus military, country versus country. The war is going to be civilian versus military. And mark my words on that. That's what the war is going to come down to. And the only way I see this playing out in a peaceful manner is for disclosure. Is for the demons/politicians to go on the television and make announcements to the people. Which of course they're never going to do. They're going to play this out until they're all fucking tied to the firing posts. And even then they're going to be lying their asses off. They will play it out until the very end. And without chaos, the only other way is going to be, divine intervention. UFO decloakings. Some kind of huge, incredible disclosure that will touch each and every household and each and every mind. And really, I don't see that happening, everybody. There have been dates that have come and gone. Oh, decloakings are going to happen. Granted, we do see a lot more UFOs in the sky, but we need a grand scale of this. We need it everywhere, synchronous at the same time. Because when if or when it does happen, the government is immediately going to push their destruction propaganda. They're going to label whoever is trying to interfere as evil and wicked. They're going to try to turn the people against them. They're going to stage attacks. They're going to do every single thing they can to create chaos if decloakings happen on a mass scale. It's I remember an old episode of not episode, excuse me, an old issue of Mad Magazine that was talking about the end of the world, and they said when the decloakings happen, that's the end of the world, at least as we know it. Because when it happens, if there was a mass decloaking right now in the sky, everyone's going to be like, holy shit, the government doesn't matter anymore. That's what it's going to take to wake people up. So you either have the shock of mass decloakings, or you have the shock of chaos. One or the other, it must happen to enlighten humanity. Jesus, he wept not for humanity, he wept because of humanity. Because of the choices humanity continues to make. So, I guess that's going to do it for today, everybody. I hope you all be well, and I hope you might heed a little bit of my words. And please remember to keep an open mind to all things and all perspectives. Even if it seems completely illogical, it could be possible. So, much love to you all, and be well, everybody.